Welcome to Informed Tourist. I'm Curtis, your traveling guru. Take a look at the title, Cities That Don't Want Tourists Anymore. It's not just clickbait. Across the globe, cities are pushing back. Protests, fines, entry fees, and even tourists go home signs. This isn't just a few grumpy locals, it's a global movement driven by overwhelmed infrastructure and rising costs. Some places are even deporting tourists for minor offenses and launching campaigns telling people to stay away. In this video, we'll count down 10 iconic places actively curbing tourism, and what it means for you. Stick around for the one travel rule that could save you money, frustration, and maybe even keep you from getting banned. Barcelona has become the global poster child for tourist resentment, a city where the tension between locals and visitors is impossible to ignore. Once celebrated as a vibrant, open city that welcomed the world, Barcelona now finds itself at the center of a heated debate about the true cost of mass tourism. In the heart of the Gothic Quarter, protests have become a regular sight. Locals armed with water guns and bold "tourists go home" signs are making their frustrations known. These aren't isolated incidents, they're a reflection of a city reaching its breaking point. The explosion of short-term rentals like Airbnb has dramatically changed the city's landscape. Entire apartment buildings now sit empty of residents, while souvenir shops and fast food chains have replaced the bakeries and family-run stores that once defined local neighborhoods. For many Barcelonans, the city they grew up in is vanishing before their eyes. In response, the city government is taking action. Tourist taxes are rising, strict rental regulations are being enforced, and hefty fines are now a real threat for those who break the rules. Officials are determined to restore balance and protect the city's character. While Barcelona isn't shutting its doors to visitors, the era of wild party tourism is coming to an end. Nightclubs that once pulsed with energy now sit closed, and the city's nightlife is quieter than ever. The message is clear. The days of treating Barcelona as a playground are over. Instead, the city is calling for a new kind of visitor, one who comes to admire Gaudi's masterpieces, explore its rich history, and truly appreciate its unique culture. Families strolling through Park Güell and art lovers wandering museum halls are now the ideal guests. If you plan to visit, make sure you stay in legal accommodations, support local businesses, and respect the peace of residential neighborhoods. Your choices matter more than ever. Take the time to do your research before you arrive. Learn about the city's new boundaries and the expectations for visitors. Understanding the rules isn't just polite, it's essential for being welcomed. The message from locals and officials alike is unmistakable. Respect Barcelona, or you're simply not welcome here. This is a city reclaiming its right to set the terms of its own hospitality. As Barcelona reclaims its identity, it's inviting visitors to become part of the solution. Join in local festivals, walk the quieter streets, and experience the city as its residents do. Spend your money at family-owned cafes and markets, not just the tourist traps. Every euro you spend can help preserve the city's authentic spirit. A little respect and kindness go a long way. Small gestures, like learning a few words of Catalan or greeting your hosts, can make a big difference. Barcelona is drawing a line in the sand, setting clear boundaries for the future. The city's patience has limits, and it's up to visitors to adapt. Be the kind of tourist Barcelona wants: curious, considerate, and engaged. Only then will you truly experience the magic of this remarkable city. Venice is done pretending. Tourism is now tightly controlled. The city, once famous for its open arms and romantic allure, has reached a breaking point. The days of wandering in unchecked crowds are over. Now, every visitor is counted, every entrance monitored, and every action scrutinized. Venice is taking back control of its future, determined to protect what makes it unique. Day trippers pay an entry fee on peak days, monitored by cameras and checkpoints. This isn't just a ticket, it's a message. Venice is not a free-for-all. The city is using technology to track the flow of people, hoping to ease the pressure on its fragile streets and ancient bridges. The goal is to make tourism sustainable, not overwhelming. Fines are handed out for sitting on monuments, eating in the wrong places, or swimming in canals. These rules might seem strict, but they're necessary. The city's beauty is delicate, and careless behavior can cause real harm. Even small acts, like dropping litter or feeding pigeons, are now met with penalties. Venice is making it clear: respect is not optional. Giant cruise ships are banned from the historic center. These floating giants once loomed over the city, bringing thousands of visitors at once and threatening the lagoon's ecosystem. Now, they're kept at bay, a sign that Venice is prioritizing its survival over mass tourism profits. Venice is literally sinking. Mass tourism is an existential threat. Rising tides and flooding are no longer rare events, they're a regular part of life. The weight of millions of feet, the constant strain on infrastructure, and the environmental impact of so many visitors all add up. The city's very existence is at stake. The city's population is shrinking, and infrastructure is crumbling under the weight of millions. Once bustling neighborhoods are now eerily quiet, as locals are pushed out by rising rents and the demands of tourism. Historic buildings, some centuries old, are showing signs of stress and decay. Venice is fighting to keep its soul alive. The new rules are about survival, not just inconvenience. City leaders are making tough choices, balancing the needs of residents with the realities of a global tourist destination. These measures are designed to protect Venice for future generations, not just to make life harder for visitors. If you visit, go off-season and follow the rules. Fines are real and steep. Take time to learn what's allowed and what's not. By respecting the city's guidelines, you help reduce the strain on Venice and ensure your visit is a positive one for everyone. Don't treat Venice like a theme park, it's a living, fragile city. Behind every picturesque canal and grand piazza are real people with real lives and traditions. The city's charm comes from its authenticity, not from being a backdrop for selfies. Stay in legal hotels, avoid illegal rentals, and explore beyond the main tourist routes. By choosing responsible accommodation and venturing into quieter neighborhoods, you support local businesses and discover a side of Venice most tourists miss. Discover quiet canals and support local life. Shop at family-run stores, eat at neighborhood trattorias, and greet the people who call Venice home. Your choices matter. They help keep the city vibrant and alive. Respect the city's limits, and you'll have a better experience. Venice rewards those who move slowly, who listen, and who appreciate its beauty with care. The city's magic is best felt in its quiet moments, away from the crowds. Venice is fighting for its future. Be part of the solution. Locals, activists, and city officials are working tirelessly to preserve this treasure. Visitors can join in by making thoughtful choices and spreading awareness. The city's preservation depends on responsible visitors. Every respectful action, every mindful decision, helps ensure Venice survives for generations to come. Don't be the reason Venice disappears. Choose to be part of its story of survival, not its decline. Amsterdam actually ran ads telling certain tourists not to come. The city's party reputation brought chaos, especially in the red light district. Residents were fed up with noise, trash, and disrespect. The Stay Away campaign targets rowdy visitors with bans on street cannabis, earlier closing times, and even talk of moving the red light district. Amsterdam wants quality tourism. Visitors interested in art, history, and culture, not just parties. If you're coming to get drunk and cause trouble, you'll face strict rules and a cold welcome. But if you're here for museums, canals, and culture, you'll be embraced. The city is reclaiming its identity. The party is over for those who can't handle it. Paris doesn't hate tourists, it hates the overwhelming crowds. Iconic sites like the Louvre and Eiffel Tower are packed beyond capacity, making daily life stressful for locals. The 2024 Olympics push things to the limit with prices and security skyrocketing. Locals are less tolerant of tourists who ignore customs or block sidewalks. Enforcement is stricter, and patience is thin. The essential tip: learn a few basic French phrases. Bonjour, merci, s'il vous plaît. A little effort goes a long way in Paris. Show respect, and you'll be treated better. In a city under pressure, cultural respect is your best currency. Dubrovnik nearly lost its UNESCO status due to over-tourism, fueled by its Game of Thrones fame. Cruise ships unleashed thousands into the tiny old town, overwhelming infrastructure and locals. The city responded with Respect the City, capping cruise passengers, installing crowd monitoring cameras, and restricting access to the city walls. Preservation now comes before profit. If you visit, avoid peak cruise hours. Explore early morning or late afternoon for a more authentic experience. Plan ahead and contribute to the city's preservation. The days of wandering in with the masses are over. Dubrovnik is saving itself from becoming a theme park. Timing is everything. Be an informed tourist, respect the limits, and you'll see the real city. Midday is for the crowds. The magic is in the quiet hours. Bali's patience has run out. Disrespectful tourists now face deportation and public shaming. Offenses include posing nude at sacred sites, breaking traffic laws, and working illegally. Influencers treating temples as photo ops have sparked outrage. The government banned foreigners from driving scooters in some areas and created a task force to crack down on bad behavior. Public shaming is now a warning to others. For Balinese, temples are sacred, not tourist attractions. The rule is simple: respect local customs, or face consequences. Learn temple etiquette, drive carefully, and don't treat Bali as a lawless playground. locals and authorities are watching. Bali welcomes respectful visitors, but will show the door to those who abuse its hospitality. They're not bluffing. In Kyoto's Gion district, tourists are now banned from certain streets to protect geishas from harassment. Geiko and Maiko are artists, not photo props, but tourists swarmed them for photos, blocking paths and invading privacy. The city tried signs and campaigns, but the problem persisted. Locals petitioned to close streets, and photography is now banned in many historic areas. Kyoto chose to preserve its cultural soul over tourist demand. The tip etiquette is non-negotiable in Japan. Speak quietly, don't eat while walking, and respect personal space. If you see a geisha, observe from a distance, never chase or touch them. They're not Disneyland characters, they're living custodians of tradition. Japan welcomes respectful visitors, but has zero tolerance for rudeness. Follow the rules, and you'll be welcomed warmly. Disrespect, and you'll be shut out. Iceland, a remote island nation with a population of under 400,000, has experienced a tourism boom unlike anything in its history. In just a few years, the number of visitors skyrocketed to more than 5 times the number of locals. Once a quiet destination known for its untouched landscapes and peaceful towns, Iceland suddenly found itself at the center of the global travel map. Tourists from every corner of the world now flock to its waterfalls, volcanoes and black sand beaches, eager to experience the country's natural wonders firsthand. But this rapid growth came at a cost. In Reykjavik, the capital, a housing crisis erupted as apartments were converted into short-term rentals for tourists. Rents soared to record highs, making it nearly impossible for many locals to afford to live in their own city. Longtime residents were forced out of their homes, and entire neighborhoods changed almost overnight, shifting from close-knit communities to transient hubs for visitors. The environment suffered too. Iceland's delicate moss, which takes decades to grow, was trampled by careless footsteps and off-road driving. Litter and waste began to appear in once pristine landscapes, threatening the very beauty that drew people here in the first place. The surge in visitors put immense pressure on fragile ecosystems, and the scars are still visible today. Everyday life became more expensive. Prices for food, souvenirs, and even basic services soared, with tourist pricing quickly becoming the norm. Locals found themselves paying more for everything, from a cup of coffee to a simple meal out, as businesses adjusted to the influx of foreign money. In response, Iceland began to push back. New fees were introduced for access to popular natural sites, parking lots appeared at once free attractions, and rope barriers were installed to protect vulnerable areas. Restrictions on where tourists could go became common, all in an effort to preserve the land for future generations. The government also tightened regulations on short-term rentals, aiming to return housing to locals and stabilize neighborhoods. At the same time, major investments were made in infrastructure, new paths, improved facilities, and better waste management to help Iceland cope with the millions of visitors arriving each year. The goal isn't to stop tourism altogether, but to make it sustainable. Iceland wants to welcome visitors, but not at the expense of its people or its environment. The focus now is on responsible travel, education, and long-term preservation. If you're planning a trip, here's how you can help. First, rent responsibly. Only book legal, registered accommodations. Illegal short-term rentals hurt local communities and drive up housing costs for everyone. Second, respect nature. Always stay on marked paths, never step on the moss, and be sure to pack out all your trash. Even small actions make a big difference in protecting Iceland's unique environment. Remember, fines for breaking the rules are steep and strictly enforced. Iceland takes preservation seriously, and so should you. Icelanders are proud of their country and its natural beauty. They expect visitors to show the same respect and care that they do. If you treat the land and its people with respect, you'll be warmly welcomed and leave with unforgettable memories. But if you ignore the rules, you'll pay the price. Sometimes literally. So travel thoughtfully, and help keep Iceland magical for everyone. Lisbon was Europe's best-kept secret, until mass tourism and digital nomads changed everything. Short-term rentals took over historic neighborhoods, pushing locals out and tripling rents. Traditional shops closed, replaced by tourist traps, and the city's soul faded. Protests and political backlash led to stricter rental laws and the end of the Golden Visa program. Tension is high, and locals feel sold out. The tip: stay outside the tourist core. Choose residential neighborhoods for a more authentic experience. Support local businesses, eat at family-run taskas, and buy from neighborhood bakeries. Talk to locals and spread your economic impact. Be part of the solution, not the problem. Lisbon's survival depends on mindful visitors. Maui's issue isn't just crowds, it's about respect, resources and recovery. After devastating wildfires and water shortages, locals are asking tourists to reconsider visiting. Tourism strains water, traffic and fragile ecosystems central to native Hawaiian identity. The wildfires highlighted the disconnect between vacationers and a grieving community. Maui is not Disneyland, became a rallying cry for mindful tourism. Some areas are restricted, and tension is real. If you go humbly. Be mindful, quiet, and respectful. Listen to the community. Avoid restricted areas and support local recovery efforts. Conserve water and learn about the culture before you arrive. Maui is sacred, not a commodity. If you can't respect that, choose another destination. We've seen 10 places pushing back against unsustainable tourism. The one rule: travel like a guest, not a consumer. Learn local rules, avoid peak crowds, and support family businesses. Respect cultural norms, value their home as much as they do. This mindset saves you from fines and opens doors to authentic experiences. Have you seen tourism change a place for better or worse? Share your story in the comments. Suggest the next informed tourist topic below. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and enjoy the next video.